I'm working on the ball joint mod again here, and this is an old brake drum turned down on the lathe that's taken the place on the hub there of that space. So basically what I've done is I put the stock suspension back on to verify that my jig was in the right spot, and it is pretty much. I mean, the arms are all mounted up and everything like that, and what I've got here is less than a 1/16 of an inch of gap there, and that's just this. That's just the jig sagging a little bit. When I welded it down here, you know, it pulled and leaned out just a little bit. When I tightened the bolts down, you know, all that squeezes back together. This flexes a little bit. All within 1/8 of an inch or less. I'm really not too worried about it. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to come up with a way to be able to pivot the hub here and maintain the track width. Okay, I don't want to at this point in time, I don't want to do like I did in the previous videos and put the big spacers in here to pull the camber back in. Okay, what I want to do is I want to be able to adjust the camber out here with the hub staying as close to track width as possible. So I think I kind of got it figured out in my head here. I'll start putting it together. We'll see what happens. Alright, still playing with the ball joint mod here. What I want is, I want these two mount pieces to be able to rotate a bit. Okay, and at first I thought, well, I wanted to rotate at the bottom. The thing was there that in order to lean it in for more negative camber, it would shorten the upper control arm. And I'm kind of trying to stay away from that. I would almost rather err on making the arm just a hair longer, push it out into the wheel well, out toward the fender just a little bit more. So what I'm going to do here is I've got this piece of all thread, and I've got these tubes here. This is DOM I picked up from who knows where. I've used it for several things. This is the same tube I used for the kingpin stuff. So anyway, I've got the nuts and stuff like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put I'm going to have nuts at each end, and I'm also going to have nuts in the middle. I just don't feel like threading them on right now. So I will have nuts here and here, and the reason for that is I'm gonna put a groove or a notch in the back here. I don't want the all thread hanging over the back because that's where the hub is going to mount up against. I probably could just go ahead and mount it right to the front here. Let me see. You know, as long as I left it to where I could get the thing in there. The thing is trying to clamp that on there and hold it, and that stuff might be a bit tricky. I'll play with it a little more. I may or may not. I may just weld it right like that. That would be fine. Anyway, what's going to happen here is once this is welded on here, I will also weld supports down here. Okay, so these tubes will be rigid and mounted to the jig out here. Okay, so then that means that then I can basically cut these off right here, and they will rotate on this bar. Now this bar, the tube here, hardly has any slop in it at all, and once I put a couple of nuts in here, then these pieces will stay in this location and be able to rotate freely. So once I bolt the hub to it, they'll stay rigid together in that stuff. And so then what I'll do is I'll cut out this center section, and that way I can still have this open area for the spindle to go up and down in. And both hinges will be perfectly in line with one another because I built the whole thing together as one piece and then cut the center out. You know, it's a waste of 4 inches of all thread. Big deal. The reason for the all thread and the nuts actually for the axle is so that with the nuts here I could actually tack the center nuts here, and then I could just tighten these down. So when I pick my camber, okay, then I could tighten the nuts down on both sides and clamp onto this tube to keep it from rotating, and that way I can hold the hub in space there at the camber I want in order to do the rest of it. So it probably would have been a lot simpler if I just simply bent these to the camber I wanted, but then again I would have had to have bent them in at least 1/4 of an inch, and I'd rather have them come out 1/4 inch. So long way around. But I think it ought to be fine. We'll do it. What the heck, I got time, huh?